A blue chair.
Okay, welcome to and you're muted. Okay. So welcome to our Gnosis last quarter chat. So we're just going to take a moment and take our 3 breaths, one for ourselves just to settle in, one for that collective, those that are in our thoughts and in our hearts, and then one for a special intention tonight. So let's go ahead, and if you want to close your eyes and just center yourself and just take a deep breath. Letting go of anything that's not yours, and just let it slide off your body, out of your mind. Take a breath for those that are the collective. And then one for that special intention that we hold in our hearts tonight. Right. And then if you got your candle, we'll go ahead and do our ritual. Oh. All right. Let this flame represent
Let this flame represent
the wild spirit that burns within each of us
the wild spirit that burns within each of us.
Yes.
as we awaken our own wild spirit.
As we awaken our own wild spirit,
May we awaken the collective.
may we awaken the collective.
All right. May burn incense. Okay, I see an incense going there.
Yes, I have the unpopular jasmine incense.
Be
Unpopular.
your last
use
one.
anyway. Yeah, we'll see if we're getting complaints this go around. Are you leaving?
Right.
Bye. The pug just left, so.
Okay. He didn't really even say hello or anything, did he?
No, he grabbed a bone and left. I know. Forget that incense.
Right. Really.
Mine is upside down, demanding to be scratched on her belly.
Oh,
Smart, huh?
Well,
Oh,
it's irresistible.
I got color.
Oh, there she goes. She's
Oh,
got color now.
there we
Yes.
are. Yeah, purple too.
No, I'm cold.
Well, the winter cold, that's for sure. Okay, so I want to, before we dive into anything, I want to read over the basics as a reminder, and can also kind of prompt any thoughts that have spanned this 3-ish weeks. Okay, so the mantra is, I am open to embracing mystery with the healing power of spirit working in my life. And we've really been working with knowledge, the topic is Gnosis. So yeah, working with knowledge and working with mystery. How we embrace mystery. From where our self-actualization derives. And exploring the Kundalini power and gracefully shedding lower vibrational energies. So with that said, it's funny because I still have a note from the Mystic Moon Circle in Atlanta underneath all of this that says Uber Lube. So speaking of the Kundalini power, going straight into there, that was a big topic early on. But how are you all feeling? What's been coming up this month? What's a keeper? What's something you're ready to shed?
I'll go first. Sorry, it was craziness over here with the dogs. But when you said gracefully shedding, I literally laughed out loud.
Gracefully?
I don't think it was very graceful.
No.
It definitely happened, but I don't think it was very graceful.
Well, that can be perspective.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So definitely lots of shedding. But yeah, that was all I really had. I was like laughing because I'm like, yeah, that was all kinds of messy.
Well,
What is it?
congratulations. It's got to feel
Thank you.
good. Shut it.
Yeah, exactly. Mm.
So does it feel, I don't know, how would I say it? More expansive? Do you feel stronger?
I mean, well, Kathy already knows all this. I made some huge decisions and like huge. We gave notice on our rental. We're going to be homeless in less than 30 days. Homeless with a purpose.
Wow.
For the sake of, couldn't keep doing the same thing and expect different results, right? And I'm already not the same person I was when we took this rental, when I manifested it. And we'll definitely be more specific next time. Manifest a house or an RV or whatever it ends up being. We've been talking about possibilities on that side. So yeah, it's just, we can't stay in the same places and do the same thing and expect a different result. So we're letting go of all of it. And
Wow.
our adventure is beginning.
All right. That's exciting. Congratulations.
Thank you. My youngest has his way. We'll end up on your side of the world sooner than later. So he loves Florida and Atlanta.
Ooh, come on, bring it.
So
I've got
there
It's
to.
you
warmer
go.
consistently that area because
Yeah,
yours is
yeah.
hot or cold, right?
Here,
In Texas.
yeah, Lubbock gets more seasons than what we're used to in DFW. DFW is like winter drops in for about 3 days, and that's usually it. They got more this year. That wasn't normal for them. All the ice was extra, but yeah, we've definitely had more of the actual 4 seasons here. So that's been nice. We actually had real snow this time. It wasn't ice because that's what we're used to.
Yeah.
So that was really beautiful, that peaceful snow experience. I'd wanted that for a long time. Just that, it's like that, the quiet of it. It's like there's nothing that's quiet like that, than the snow cover. I don't know. And that's literally the day everything started changing. So,
Wow.
yeah, about 2 weeks ago. I guess it's been almost 3 weeks ago now. It's flying by as far as time goes. So, anyways, we shall
Shockingly.
embark. What'd you say?
I said shockingly fast.
I know, right? I know.
According
And
to the
we're
calendar.
going to be heading to Kathy's when everything's said and done. And when I pulled you up, Jared's like, oh, is that Kathy? He's like, he couldn't remember what you looked like. I didn't know if they'd ever even talked to you before.
Well,
So,
'cause she was in a completely different style of hair.
oh, I think he was
makeup.
saying the
Oh,
last time
true.
he saw you, it was straight or something. So I was like, yeah, she has the hair she can change.
It changed her whole face.
He meant that he's very observant. Details. He's my food critic too. So if you want to know honesty, he'll give it to you. But anyways, so there you go. That's what I got. Shedding non-gracefully, but doing it.
Well, that's a significant month.
Yeah, for real.
Seriously.
Yeah, I'm taking all my direct planets seriously, apparently. And I'm Aquarius moon, so I'm like, yeah, it's been interesting. I started focusing on about 3 days ago, just on pure love and nothing else. And then had like really intense fear stuff come up every night. My friend was like, oh, that's amazing. That means miracles are unfolding. Like, how much love do you have to let in to show people like how to transmute the fear into love? And I was like, oh, I thought it was so funny because she was like celebrating that I was having like all these attacks at night because she was like, well, you let something different happen, so it has to come up and out. So that's been interesting for sure. That's why I laughed when you said gracefully. I'm like, I don't know that I would call that gracefully, but at least I get it.
Wow.
So it's been a little intense, but good. rolling with it. All right, someone
And
else
that is,
go.
I was gonna say, that's a good point that you just brought up about the fear, because so many times we are on automatic
Mm,
and we do things that cause the fear and you don't even realize it, that you've done
right.
that. And then your
Yeah.
brain kicks in and does its automatic response. And so
Hmm.
then it's like, okay, so as soon as you catch it or recognize that that
Hmm.
happens, and then come back as that non-judgmental observer
Yeah.
and come
Sometimes
from that
that's
place
hard to
of
do
love,
when
like
you're
that. Well,
like
because if
straight
you're
out of bed and you're
sure.
but I dealt with it pretty quickly.
Well, yeah, and going back in hindsight, because the more that you know, or the more that you're aware and practice,
Right.
then as soon as you do, because it's like you always feel it in your body, right? No matter
Yeah.
what it is.
Yeah.
And then it's like from that point, that's when you just say, okay, yeah, what's happening here?
Yeah.
And not even, you don't even have to address like why it's happening, just saying, hey, and that's where I go in and just thank my brain, thank you, all right, whatever it is. And, depending on how
Right.
much time I have to dig into it, but get into
Yeah.
to just recognize, and because it's that, just those habits of
Hmm.
changing micro movements at a time,
Yep.
baby steps. That's what we're doing. It's like, I like to think of it as like dancing, just,
Yeah. Hmm. Yep. Not graceful, but dancing.
I think it could be related to singing too, though. Like, I mean, it's still a dancing, but the singing, like, I guess, because I was thinking about like looking at Lamar going, like where you've chosen to do your voice lessons
Ooh, she
and
did.
taking that, yeah, right? Are you still doing your voice lessons? Yes. So, but just taking it
That's
and
cool.
using that as a beautiful way to
Yeah.
express yourself, right?
Right. Open it all up.
Mhm.
I've wanted to do that too as well. Like I mean, singing was a part of my whole life growing up, and I've wanted to get back to that. So fun
I
stuff.
recommend it.
Did you do it? Are you doing it online or local?
No, I do it local.
Cool.
Our our choir master at church teaches lessons
Oh, nice.
as
Very cool.
well. And he's really pushed me out of my comfort zone, and yeah, I'm learning a lot.
Yeah.
And it's helping me overcome my fear of other people and have being heard. And that's huge. That's really big for me. And some days I can't do it, but some days I can. And you were talking about shedding ungracefully. Me too. Holy moly.
Me too. Yeah.
Me. I have been presented actually on a couple of occasions with opportunities to shed things that no longer serve me, and twice I've been able to let it go, and I'm standing at the edge of this other big one, huge one, and I can't remember if it was last time or the time before where we were working on being comfortable in the unknown, let the mystery unfold. I can't do it. I can't. I just I'm hanging on the edge with my fingernails, and I hope that maybe tomorrow I can let go, but I don't know. We'll see.
How can we
Stay tuned.
support you? Tell us how can we support you? What would you like?
Um, I don't know. I just don't know. I want to step away from my production business. My partner and
Okay.
I do not align. We're not on the same page, and yeah, and I think I love it so much. I love the work so much, but I think if I feel like if I step away, there'll be nothing there, and I'll have to reinvent myself, and we know how much fun that is.
Hmm.
Uh, so I don't know. I guess just say a little prayer, light a candle, and yeah, stay tuned.
So can I ask you a question?
Yes, ma'am.
So it sounds like you said, stepping away from your production company. Like, so that would mean just your specific one, or like the industry, or like you
Not the
guys
industry, but I,
separating you
yeah,
guys?
I need to break up with my business partner.
Basically, okay, that's what that is. All right. So, and
Yeah.
taking it, okay. And have y'all had any kind of discussion yet? And so decision time is tomorrow?
No, but the longer I let it roll around in my head, the worse it gets. So
So you've set a
And you
deadline for tomorrow.
I sort of set a deadline for tomorrow.
and you've journaled out, pros, cons, and
I have
like what.
not. I have.
So maybe like we'll send you lots of love and support and everything, but take the step of like putting it to paper and kind of throw out some things and pros and cons and
I'm very change resistant right now. I don't want to shed my coat.
Mhm.
I want to shed it, but I don't. I need one. I need one in the wings, waiting.
yeah, feels
Um,
it tends to feel more comfortable that way, but yeah.
and I know we just have to Indiana Jones it and take the step and know that the
Yes.
path is there.
It's like the Fool's card where they're stepping off. It's the first step in the tarot. He
Ah,
steps off
Mm-hmm.
the cliff in a step of
Mm-hmm.
faith. And then he's got his pack and his head's illuminated, right? And he's starting over. But it's like taking the step knowing that the path it's gonna appear.
So
I
I,
go ahead.
I heard this really great thing that helped me go through that same thing of having to break up with the production company kind of thing, like break up a production company. And I'll never forget someone, a few different people saying kind of the similar message, which is like when there's something that's not working in your life, or a person or a thing, I guess, like what we're doing is we're almost like blocking our blessing, like staying in a relationship that's not working. It's like you're blocking yourself from having the relationship that you really want because you're keeping this thing in there that's not working. And or having the life that you want, but and and it's and it's super hard, and sometimes, like, and sometimes things just end up getting taken away from us, and the choice is to just accept that it's being taken away, but you have a choice.
thank
And
you for
yeah,
saying that. That makes so much sense.
yeah, and
Mm-hmm.
just like that there's so much good stuff. I don't know, it just seems like life has a really interesting way, like there's something better in store for you.
Mhm.
After an 8 or 9 episode podcast, 1 hour each, of I've been listening to In the World of Polly Platt for the last 9 hours of my life, or not just 9, over a few weeks. And I can't help but think of what you're going through and how amazing and creative she was, and how she was always scared to take that leap. And it really stifled her creativity, yet she was probably the most creative and successful woman in film ever. Yet she never felt like she was enough, that she could do enough, that, you know, she was always connected with a partner that didn't appreciate or didn't let her move on. And she was always afraid not to. I can't help but think of that. And I'm sure you know who Polly Platt is. Before, I didn't know who the hell she was until not all that long ago. And then mine fucking blown of every amazing movie since what? 1960 something until not all that long ago, and Oscar after Oscar, and the woman behind many movies written about her and her life, and it was just mind-boggling. But I see that industry in itself is, you know, really difficult. And if you feel the need to shed, remember the snake. When the snake sheds, they're blind for a moment until the skin comes off. Like there's that moment you can't see, but once it comes off, you're bigger and brighter and stronger. And yeah,
Beautiful.
keep,
Hey,
yeah,
I just
keep that.
found it.
Mhm.
I just found it. The podcast.
Yeah, you must remember
You
this.
must remember that. Yeah.
And it started with her, and I'm like, oh, who the hell is that? I don't want to spend 9 episodes on this woman. It's the best time I have spent on listening to. I love that anyway, but it's the best that she's done so far. And I just want to watch every single one of her movies again. It's mind-boggling
Wow.
Thank you.
and very inspirational.
Yeah.
I
Can
appreciate
I add one thing to this? One, I'm glad Kathleen said what she said, because I was over here trying to decide how to word the exact same thing. I'm like, oh, good. It was for her to say. But the other thing that I would tell you is, having been in, I mean, I had to break up with a business too over the last year, and I had to mourn it. Like it was hard to let go of 12 years of work, right? And relationships and all of this stuff. So, but something that I literally listened to yesterday talked about how, and you know, when we're trying to break up with something or someone, we're focused on the negative of it instead of what got us excited about it in the first place. So you need to go back and write down all the positive aspects right now, because that will actually put you in the energy of what you want to move forward to, instead of focusing on what you're wanting to move away from. And we get afraid it's going to make us stuck to like where we're at, because there are things you love about production, right? And everything you do, or you wouldn't have done it. So focus on those things, and that will keep you in the emotion of what you are looking for going forward, instead of the breakup and why you don't want to be there anymore.
Thank you.
So that helped me a
Yes.
lot, because I could actually write that down, you know, like it gave me something tangible to do and focus on. And that has literally the last 3 days, I was laughing while I was panicking with it, because I'm like, I'm literally focusing on love and here's all this fear, right? But it made sense too. But it's been a way better journey the last couple of days than it was when it was very messy and not graceful. It has definitely, I don't know, it just made a difference to focus on that and be like, it's okay to love the parts of it you love, you know, and you don't have to give that up. I had to process out the company and that journey and be like, and I went back and looked for the lessons. What is everything I want to take forward? What did I learn? What were the beautiful relationships I did have? And I just started gathering all the things I was going to put in my pack, right, before I took the leap of faith. Like I want to make sure I do due diligence to bring it all forward, because it was not a waste, right? It wasn't a failure. It's just time to allow yourself to be the new version of you. You've outgrown it the way it is, and it can only get better. So, anyways.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much.
Lots to think about, right?
Lots to think about.
You got this, though.
And we've got your back.
Feels good. You feel complete? Does that feel good to you? Good. And like I said, we'll send you lots of love and support because it is hard to have uncomfortable conversations, but
Very.
got this
Wait,
beautiful energy.
Kathy, didn't you tell someone on the chat earlier? Don't forget that this is business. Show up prepared with what you want on paper. Like it's a business transaction.
Yeah.
You said that earlier somewhere. I saw it.
I don't know if I saw it if it was today or but that is.
Yeah, it was in a
it's
chat
name.
somewhere. But don't forget that part of it. If you take all the good and then be like, and this is what I want, and be definitive about it. You are your boss of your life. So hold that authority.
Posture, right?
Yes.
Put on my red
So is this the
sweater.
same person you
Oh,
were
that's
talking
it.
about?
Yes.
What'd she say?
She
Put on
she
my
got your
red sweater.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And is this the same person you talked about a while back about them not respecting you and
Yeah.
kind of speaking down to you? Okay, yeah. So go in prepared. You be the amazing businesswoman that you are. And this is a business transaction.
Yes. Thank you.
And if you need to talk to a lawyer first, so you know exactly how you need to separate and divorce,
I did
do
that
it.
already.
Okay, well,
She's
then
she's ready.
there you
Okay.
go. So it seems to me you've already made your decision.
Mm.
You just needed to hear it, maybe.
Just need to throw that old skin off.
Yeah.
Yes. And knowing that you're supported, right? I mean, like
Yeah.
that's what it is. You have your collective pack here.
Mm-hmm. I do. And I love you all and I appreciate it so much.
We love you. Yes. Yeah. It does feel good. And so that, like, I think for me, like the cycle, the knowing, like I love knowing and really feeling very grounded in the fact that we're here for a reason, right? We're all here because we were meant to be here. Our energy was needed at this time. And so knowing that that's been like the beautiful lesson for me this cycle is just really, because I don't know if all y'all know my story, but my mom, since I was little, she's always told me like you have some great purpose on earth, and I'm like, what am I supposed to be doing? That's so heavy, but yet going back into this topic, it's like, oh yeah, we all have that, right? My mom was just vocal and told me, but we all have that, all of us. So when we remember ourselves, like how powerful are we? That we were, I mean, like, hello, we're meant to be here. So step it up and like own it, right?
Mhm.
So that felt good to me.
It's
This
part of
cycle,
that self-actualization right there.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Tis the season. You're not alone in these changes.
Yeah.
Telling you, the topics really connect with us, don't
Yeah.
they?
Don't you love how prophetic and psychic we are? We do the soul acceleration.
I know.
It's pretty
And that
amazing.
in itself, brings this confidence of like, wow, we
Yep.
are collectively really, really doing this and doing it well.
Hmm. Even if it doesn't feel well, even if it feels messy and gross and all that other stuff, it's like, oh, all right, I remember.
It's the eye of the beholder, right?
It feels like
Great segue for next month.
Yeah, I was just thinking about how, my intention for the month was like submerge, and I thought that I would just really, I don't know, I guess, I thought that would mean something else. And but I guess what I've come away with is it seems like the communication through the month was I found myself getting frustrated with communication, and then taking a step back and being like, why am I having such a hard time communicating? um, and so I guess in the spirit of Gnosis, and I had to sort of like really look at like, why do I have um a hard time sorting out, sort of like when I have a lot of feelings, uh, my thoughts get jumbled or something, and I have a hard time communicating, or and it's just like I'm having to like kind of look back. It's just like, where is this, what is this pattern coming out of, and because it feels like I don't know if there's just like some weird energy going on right now, but it feels like I have to kind of rectify that before I can like move forward, if that makes sense. But part of that is like asking for people for help. And is like my stepdaughter had wanted me to proofread something for her, and it represented everything that everything that frustrates me, that can frustrate me, about her. And then I realized, I was like, okay, like, try not being critical, try not to be critical, try to be like, well, if I don't understand what the point of it is, instead of being critical of her, just tell her that you don't understand the point of it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And like, we managed to give her this feedback, which wasn't about making her wrong. And she ended up being able to make much better piece, with a few suggestions. I know that this just sounds like that's something that just happened in the past 24 hours. But I mean, but it happened time and time again in other communications with family and friends, where I get so uncomfortable. I get really uncomfortable and frustrated about a situation. And then it's really hard for me to, like, I guess I get scared that I'm going to blow up, and I'm just going to blow everything up, you know? And so then I just try to get honest, in not a mean way, but just an honest way. Maybe that's just what's there for me, is like getting to the honesty faster. Does that make sense? Like, I have the
Mhm.
feelings, and then I got to just get to honesty faster. We did this really great labyrinth walk at Serenby, Ember and a couple other ladies, and and we kind of talked about afterwards, like, kind of what did we discover in doing this labyrinth, um, and I got that part of our path is, I mean, that there are going to be interesting parts. There's going to be, I'm going to get really frustrated and anxious because I want to get to the end. But when I just kind of slow down, and I just kind of enjoy the twists and turns, and sometimes it feels like we're going backwards instead of forward, and then we go forward. You know what I mean? Like, it's getting comfortable with all the twists and turns, and stuff. So I guess, like, there were fun moments this month, and there were just a lot of like uncomfortable moments with the not knowing how to be honest thing. Anyway, I don't know. I feel like I'm talking too much, but that's, That's
So
what
getting
I meant.
to the honesty, would you say that that was a key takeaway of being able to arrive faster at the honesty? Because I'm hearing a lot of self-actualization once again on your communication in frustrating times or a difficult situation or maybe even like an excited situation when you're saying like your thoughts and feelings are jumbling together at the same time. So you think you've been able to cut through a little faster or a little clearer, maybe not fast in the word, a little being able to pull some clarity out of it instead of the reaction and the blow up.
Yeah, I think that is, I guess there's sometimes when people ask me for help, whether it's creative or they just want feedback or whatever. Sometimes I think like I'm transitioning from a phase of where I felt like that meant I was going to have to do a whole lot of work to help them fix it. You know what I mean? And kind of, I'm a lot more precious with my time now because like I have things I want to do in the world. So I'm starting to realize that like I really don't have to fix anything for people. They're just asking me for my feedback. So if I can keep it short and sweet, I don't have to do all the heavy lifting. And I used to be asked to do all the heavy lifting a lot, you know, without much, you know, on the back end.
So you've created healthy boundaries for yourself,
So I guess like
strengthen your no muscle.
yeah, I guess it's like I'm starting to I've learned how to create boundaries, and now it's like I'm working through that thing, and I see a lot more women do this than men, but like where you bend over backwards for everyone that has a request of you. Like you just, you know,
Take it on. Yeah. Take on everybody's stuff.
And you know how you said,
it's uncomfortable.
yep, if that I block my own blessings by not being true to myself. When you're fixing everything for everybody else, you're taking their lessons away.
Mm-hmm.
You rob them of their own lesson.
That's
Right.
good.
Yeah.
That I can't take credit. That was Joe. That was 100% my sister. But I've never forgotten it, and it's 100% true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's all tied up with some stuff around my mom. So it's like I know that this is like stuff that goes way back, you know.
So if you're talking about family members and stuff like that, though, well, the best way that I've found is, and with anybody really, but it's just say, you know, it's the communication that I'm working on this. Like that you personally like, hey, I'm working on this, to ask for grace, because a lot of times when we respond differently to people that we've responded the same way to all the time, it freaks them out. And it just trips their brain up because they're like, what's happening here? Like she's always rolled over, or she's always done this, or and now she's not. So something's wrong with her. And that, I mean, I'm just saying like, this is what a lot of times happens in their brain. So if you automatically say, hey, I'm doing this, I'm working on changing my responses, then so many times then that eliminates that reaction from them, because then it gets into the reaction of you, them, you know what I'm saying? Like that you just go ahead and just say, you know, if you're feeling it, they probably are feeling it too. And so if you just say, hey, I'm working on my personal development. If I'm reacting different, that's why I'm doing that. It's not because I don't I care less, or anything else. It's just that I'm working on me, and that's the way I've approached my family through all of my personal development, and that really has helped because we've gone from children to adults, and so I think so many of those lessons and things get put on us from our childhood and on, and so as we transition, it's just a conversation of, and then holding your boundaries and deciding what you really want to see. But especially like just in the instance of like your stepdaughter,
Mhm.
talking about that and just be upfront and just say, hey, this is what I'm doing. And I encourage you to do that too, like especially to our children. Invest in personal development.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's like I wish I didn't feel so much anger, you know. Like I'm not expressing anger toward them. It's like there's nothing to be angry about. Like but I feel a lot of anger nonetheless. I it's I'm sorry.
Well, keep in mind that it's something that you can observe, right? And you're aware of it. So it's something you can not only observe, but in doing so, does it mean you're hanging on to it or grabbing onto it? Anger is just an emotion. It flows.
Mhm. Right.
So just knowing it is very helpful. But in knowing it, you can also shed it. Yes,
Mhm.
I'm angry. Damn it, I'm angry again. Fuck. Okay, breathe it out. It can
Yeah.
leave now. I see it. Goodbye. Thank you. Thank you for the reminder.
Right.
You
My
don't
friend asked me the other day if I
sarcasm
had
doesn't have to be part of it, but
my
Well,
friend
just
asked if I had loved my anger towards something and someone. And I laughed because I was like, yeah, no, I have not loved my anger, but she meant transmuting it into love. And I used to repel from stuff like that. Like, yeah, kind of the whole point of being angry is to be angry. So, like, don't bypass it, but see it leaving your body after you feel it. That helped me a lot because then it doesn't stay put and get stagnant and stuck. It has movement. And so you can kind of use it as fuel even while you're feeling it. And then, when you're ready to dissipate it all the way and find the love part, it's much easier if it wasn't stagnant, I found. Like I literally see it like leaving my feet and going to the earth. So now I'm grounded, the anger's grounded because emotions aren't wrong, they're there for a reason. So find the reason and use it. And let it be powerful anger,
yeah, that's
because that's
awesome.
what kind of kickstarted my whole month was anger in pain and figuring it out and letting it be what it is.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, and it's just like in the whole topic of gnosis and knowing, is like sometimes when you really get in touch with your own knowing, like you get pissed off. So, yeah, no one said it was supposed to be peaceful all the time.
yeah, there's always going to be difficult times, hardships, how we react to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's really important. And that does get into next month.
Yeah.
How are you feeling right now, Kathleen? Let us know when you feel complete and if there's something else to add to that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I just probably came into this talk like a little bit we just have a neighbor and he was talking about how his mom is dying and she'll probably die in the next couple of days, and I think it just got me to thinking about my own mom. And I just she's like 92, and you know, she's okay, you know, as far as we can tell, but like, I just realized there's some stuff that I'm not complete about with her. I'm not sure how to get there, you know. So
We're here to support, and you know, you can reach out to us at any time as you're working through this.
yeah, thanks.
Aha moments are going to come for sure. And utilizing this topic of what we intuitively know, what we need to know for conversations with her, what conversations that you need to have with yourself about her end of days, conversation you need to have with the family about that. I mean, there's a lot to unpack, and that's for sure. But that communication and all those feelings, everything that you were just talking about, all of that coming up at once, and the anger, I think this is a beautiful first step. And I applaud you for like being so brave and even realizing it and talking about it. And it seems like it was a really big month for everybody, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
With that being said, it can set the stage for all the rest of the month, though, or not the month, but the year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, even if you have to come back and watch this again, especially, I mean, all of us, I mean, it might be really good for us to come back and watch this again when we have a moment to hear what's really being said and the support and love that we have for each other and ourselves. And just know that, you know, the journal is a really good friend if you choose to use it as such. But, you know, asking yourself, you know, what is it that you need to know, or what is it that is would be good to know, you know, not that you need it, but go back to and journal some things. And, you know, why do you feel angry? Or why is it that you want whatever it is, why you feel like you have incomplete business with your mom? But I think coming back to this and listening to the recording could be very beneficial for all of us.
And speaking of the podcasts earlier, treat it like a podcast. You know, I mean,
Mhm.
technically we're just a bunch of talking heads up here, right? So just treat it like a podcast. We don't do a lot
Yeah.
of shit. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. Thank you guys very much.
Yeah. You're welcome. Thank you. This topic goes on. You're like, we're not done, right?
Right?
We've got until Thursday I'm looking over there, but I think I'll find it over here faster. Thursday at 2:09 p.m. Eastern. So that is when the Balsamic Moon begins. And that's when we'll say goodbye to this topic for the moment. I know there'll be elements of it that will keep with us for a long time, but use that time, Thursday, midday Thursday, to find some relaxation, find some me time, find some fun time, something that you can just take that day or two to just do something for yourself that's really feels good at that moment. You know, whether it's just a bath, a walk, dancing in the rain, whatever. Kind of cold for that right now, but anyway, so the Balsamic Moon is at 2:09 on Thursday, and then on Sunday we meet back here for Sanctuary for Divine Art Alchemy. Our next topic is Sanctuary.
Fun.
And It's going to be an interesting one, that's for sure. Yeah. And everything will post then as well. Well, everything will start posting at the end of this topic. So around the balsamic moon, all the dates and stuff will start dripping through. But
Very good.
The events, RSVP for the event so that you get the reminder in addition to our text there. So want to plug that. Even if you're not coming, I mean, even it would be great if you could come, but I mean, even if you're like questionable. So if you're definitely not coming, don't RSVP for it. But even if you're like questionable or coming, please RSVP so that way you do get an automatic reminder.
anything before we howl?
I feel complete. I'm very grateful for these check-ins, these times with you ladies, and just feels really good.
It was a great month. A lot of messages this month. Okay, take a super deep breath in and out. The deepest one you've had all day. Okay, at the top of this one, we're gonna let it go.
Doggies now.
Always makes me giggle.
Happy manifesting.
Be manifesting, everyone.
Bye, all.
Bye.